I watched three films recently, three good films I thought. First one was Troy, based on the poem The Iliad by Homer. It's the first time I think I've come across the work of Homer. It was quite interesting. The only thing I did think about it, and obviously I don't know whether, like I said with the Merchant of Venice one I was talking about before, is how accurate the translations have been. But the one thing I would have changed with Homer's Iliad, if it isn't as it is in the film, who plays it? It's not Brad Pitt. It's the man, Eric Bana, the man who played the Hulk, plays. It's very bad. I can remember the actor's name, but not the character he plays. Anyway, he gets killed in the end by Troy. Is his name Troy? I don't know. Brad Pitt's character kills him in the end, and he comes across as the good guy in it, Eric Bana. And that I was quite surprised that that's how it ended. That he got killed. I would have preferred him to have survived and him to have beaten Achilles. Achilles was Brad Pitt's character. I thought Eric Bana's character was going to survive against Achilles, because Achilles blames him for the death of, is it his brother or his son or something like that? Son, because he thinks he's fighting him because he's wearing his mask and using his equipment, so he thinks he's fighting him. So it's not Eric Bana's fault. And as Homer's work relates a lot to do with morality, I was quite surprised that I know that Achilles is against, well, he's a fighter in war and then he's against war, but then he doesn't have the same moral judgment that's given to Eric Bana's character in the film. I was quite surprised. The other film I saw was Kevin Spacey as in Beyond the Sea, playing Bobby Darin, the man who sang Matt the Knife. It was a very good film, very good performance of Kevin Spacey. That was also, obviously I've heard of Matt the Knife before. I think checking on the internet, he took a little bit of liberties with some of the factual evidence towards the end of Bobby Darin's life. But it was a very interesting film. A lot of good music in it. I don't know too much about Bobby Darin, but yeah, it did make you interested in him, so it's a very good film. And the third one I've seen just recently, is The Constant Gardener. I think it was Ralph Fiennes, based on a book I was quite surprised I saw at the end by John le Carré. I don't know if it's based on a true story, but I wouldn't be surprised. It was all to do with a company who makes drugs, who are testing them out in Africa on people, but they don't obviously realise that they're doing that because they don't want to go back in the lab and wait 3 years to try and get the cure for TB. Because obviously then some other rival pharmaceutical company will come along and will make the drug, and then they will be beaten by them. So what this company does is it wants to hide the lack that it has within the chemical it's testing by testing on people, and the ones who died get buried and are raised, so that they can start selling this chemical and say they're the first to solve it. It was a very emotional film, and Ralph Fiennes in it was just brilliant. I don't really like him usually because I find him a bit plain in his acting, but he was really convincing in that, and it was a very sad film because at the end, obviously, he loses his wife, Rachel Weisz, from The Mummy, I think. He loses his wife. She gets bumped off, obviously, because she's getting too close to the truth, but she never tells her husband, Ralph Fiennes, about what's going on. So he ends up investigating it. And the bit that I liked most, I think, it was a shame, you always get this in these films, that where, he's investigating it. He knows he's quite close, and he goes up to this kid who he knows a little bit about this stuff, and he starts talking to him, and then the police start phoning up, and they know that they're the pharmaceutical company they're testing. They know what they're doing, and they know he's from the High Commission, and they're getting suspicious. So they want to get him out of there. So they phone the police, and he gets arrested. And that moment where he's there, and I would like it, if there was a film where he could just turn around and throw the tables up and sort of take them on, rather than just, he loses. it makes you angry when you watch that bit. Obviously it's done on purpose, it's written that way to do that, but that is a great thing where, you know, where you get a person and the authorities, and then, you know, he can't get the truth out. Obviously he does eventually, and it's quite sad how he ends his life in the same spot where his wife has been killed. But yeah, there are three good films that I'd recommend. Troy, Beyond the Sea, and The Constant Gardener.